Hey guys, it's Juan here with Houston Vida. And today, for our very first episode, I'm excited to bring on Javier Ferrer. He's the president and the creative mind behind the annual Puerto Rican, Cuban, Dominican festival that's held here in Houston and also of La Placita Houston. Please go ahead and like and share this broadcast. Invite your friends and I'm going to go ahead and bring on Javier. Javier, how are you doing today?
Hello, I am doing great. Beautiful weather outside, Juan. Have you been
Yes,
outside?
I did for a little bit. It rained last night pretty hard. I'm over here in North Houston, but it's really nice now.
Yeah, getting ready to go get some biking somewhere.
Nice. Well, thank you for making time to come on today. I Today's the very first episode of Houston Vida, and what we're trying to do is highlight local business owners and influencers, people doing great things in our community. And today we have you for our first episode, and the goal is to get to know who you are, kind of behind the scenes, behind the brand. Who is Javier Ferrer? Where are you from? How long have you been in Houston?
I have been in Houston for a long time. I was in the I was born in Puerto Rico. I am from Naranjito, and I have been living in the States for quite some time since I was probably about 11 years old, 11 or 12. And I moved to Houston right after I got honorably discharged from the United States Navy. I'm in the medical field, and I've been here since '91. And right around when I got here, the first thing that Puerto Ricans do when we go to a new place is look for friends that are Puerto Rican, and it's just by default. It's something that we do, and I think that all cultures do the same thing. Um, I just happen to be Puerto Rican, and I happen to be very familiar and in close proximity all the time with the Cuban population in town and the Dominican population as well. So in 2007, that's basically when Bud Light, which was our very first sponsor, decided to help me out, and that's when we started in 2007.
Nice. Well, thank you for your service. Um, so how did this all start with the festival? I've held events like, say, for my family. It's 10, 15, 20 people, and it's a lot to plan, right? And it's nothing fancy, right? We're just having people over for a cookout, and to go buy all the stuff and kind of coordinate everything. So I can't even imagine putting together such a big event with so many performers. How did it start, and how did it progress to where we're at today?
Okay, so that's a very good question, and sometimes I don't like to have parties at the house because when you have 10 or 15 people, and more than likely is your family and your close friends, then after that you have to clean up.
Yes.
So there's the preparatory phase where you need to find out what you're going to do, what the theme is going to be, and who you're going to invite. Then, whenever you get everybody coming in, you either do a potluck because you have to have music, you have to have food, So this is for a home, right? So there's a lot of preparation, and I was lucky and fortunate to have parents that own restaurants in Puerto Rico and in Pennsylvania, in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, when we moved to the States. And they always had, almost every weekend, something was going on. Either there was a picnic at a park, a radio station at the restaurant, doing live remotes, big parties, big events, big festivals. And when I very first came to Houston, I was in the Navy. When I was in the Navy, I was stationed in different places like San Diego, California, Portsmouth, Virginia, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. And in those places, they're remote to Puerto Ricans. There are very few Puerto Ricans then, or there were a few. I'm sure that there's more now. But I was always with that nostalgia and melancholia. There's something that you're always looking for your roots.
Yeah.
So when I was in the Navy, I founded a Hispanic society, and I was always in charge with the commanding our headquarters in Hispanic Heritage Month. When I came to Houston shortly after that, um, I was found in the same predicament. I was missing my people, and so I started looking for Puerto Ricans. I tried to look for Puerto Rican restaurants, and at that time there was only one and open. And the owner now is a very good friend of mine, Angelo, and the Tex Chick. And before there was another couple that owned the restaurant, and they were from Ponce. Creo que él se llama Mateo, and I forget his wife's name, but they're the ones that started over 35 years ago. They started Tex Chick. Uh, so I wanted more. I would go to the Colombian festival. I would go to other festivals, and uh, I still wanted to do a big party for my community. And in 2004, 2005, I started doing my research. And oddly enough, there were a lot of people interested in helping me out, and especially the people from Budweiser, and which Michelob Ultra and Bud Light have been the title sponsors of the Puerto Rican and Cuban Festival since its inception in 2007, and Telemundo, by the way. So I decided to do the festival. I got a group of people, I got my family to help me out. Everybody was excited. So we did the first festival in 2007 in downtown Houston, right in front of City Hall. And we were expecting approximately 800 people. I was hoping that we get 800. And we had two food vendors, and there was another Puerto Rican restaurant. I can't remember the name, but it's gonna come to me. Um, and Marisol, I think, was the owner, and Mayra was also she was the manager of that restaurant, and I can't just think of the name. But like I said, it's gonna come to me. We decided to do the first festival, and the reason why I'm mentioning these two restaurants is because those were the only two food vendors that I had at the festival in 2007. And I was telling them, well, Puerto Ricans and Cubans, they like lechon. We have to have lechon. So they got us lechon. And I think each one of them just got one. And so we had a lot of different nonprofit organizations helping out, and we had T-shirts and souvenirs from Puerto Rico. And that day that we were expecting 800 people, we were blessed to have over 7,500 people
Wow.
through. The restaurants ran out of food in an hour. We opened at 12. At 1 o'clock, they were sold out. Isla Coqui. That's the name of the restaurant that I forgot. It's Isla Coqui. Fortunate enough, Isla Coqui, they were located like 3 miles from the festival. So throughout the day, they kept preparing food at the restaurant and bringing it to the festival. So we had food. The lines were immense. They were so long, but people stayed. They would listen to the music, and they would be dancing in the line to buy pedacito de lechon or arroz con gandules or something, frituras. So that was all in 2007, and it's been every year since 2007. 2020, this is going to be a 14th festival, Puerto Rican and Cuban Festival in October 24th.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's one of these things, right? That um, you're always looking to connect with people that are like you, right? That you have similarities with, and um, it's my understanding, you started with the festival, and you're also hosting kind of a seasonal event called La Placita Houston. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely, yes. So the festival kept growing throughout the years. Now we have, like every business, everything fluctuates. It goes up and down. We've had a steady 10% to 15% growth, and the amount of people that attend the festival every year is an average of 20,000 people. And so the sponsors and some other people were inquiring if we were able to host another event. And the logistics, think about the party that you were talking about at home for the family and friends. Um, Now multiply that times 1,000 or 150,000. Uh, you have to think of who the artist is going to be, the stage, the sound, the fencing, and this is all coming from different companies. You got to rent because I don't own any of the equipment that we use at the festival. You have to have volunteers, you have to have staff to help you out. I have a production team that throughout the year we focus in little details like getting the artist, where is it going to be at, the date, getting the permits. Right now, because of the pandemic, there are no events that the city of Houston is allowing to happen. So we haven't been able to get a permit for this year. I understand that the city is going on a month-to-month basis. So right now, they're not um giving the permits to an event in June and July, for example. So when we get to June, we will have a better idea what's going to happen in July and August and so forth. And we're hoping that this virus that has taken us all by surprise, and it has changed everybody, every human on the planet, um, in the way that we conduct business, in the way that we socialize, in the way that we talk to each other or we see each other. There's a big trend right now on social media. We're doing tele interviews like you and I are doing right now, telehealth. If you want to see the doctor, if you have to see the doctor, you do it online. Um, and I'm going to throw a question back at you, Juan, because I know that you're also a registered nurse. So if you want to see the doctor and you do a telehealth appointment, uh, how do you get your laboratory test? Where do you go? Is that something that is also worked into the telehealth interview?
Typically, the telehealth, you can think of it as a triage tool. So it's a way of pointing you in the right direction. Sometimes, if it's minor, they can go ahead and treat, call in a prescription to your pharmacy. But if the doctor feels that you need further testing, then they can direct you with local resources. The main objective is to first, we're used to, I don't feel well, let me get in my car and go somewhere, right? Let me go seek health care. Uh,
Right.
but what this is doing is it's allowing to hold on first. Let me talk to the doctor and see where I should go first, right? So you're not making an unnecessary trip. And if you do make that trip, you're going to the right place and you're getting the right test done without having to have unnecessary exposure.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's
so go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
so that's the kind of idea behind it. It's not to necessarily always be the ultimate solution, but it's a starting point to guide you in the right direction.
Very good. And that's happening with everything. I know when you go to the grocery store, there are different measures taking place. And going back to the festival, so I don't want to say that we are on hold. We are on hold, but by me not saying that, it gives me more positivity and optimism, and which is what everybody's hoping for. A lot of us are starting the routine of getting up again in the morning and going back to work, coming back home. There's not a lot to do because all of the bars are still closed. Restaurants are open at 25%. Um, and when we do the festival, we don't want to do the festival at 25%. We want to do the festival at 100%. So that's our goal. Right now, we're in the preparations. We're getting a huge support from everybody that has been involved in this event before, especially for 14 years. And October 24th, that's the day.
Can't wait. Yeah, one of the coolest things I love about going to the festival is the environment where you see families, you see kids on the drums, and dancing and playing along with the musicians, and it's an experience that you might not otherwise get to experience unless you live in Puerto Rico, right? Or you travel. But what you've done is you've brought that to Houston, to the city of Houston, which is really important, right? To maintain your culture, to maintain your roots, right?
Absolutely. One of the most important things to me when I first came to Houston, for example, and in retrospect, uh, you want to belong to a group that you can identify yourself with, and the groups that you identify yourself with are groups that share the same commonalities, like the food that you eat. Where can I get arroz con gandule? I mean, if you ask somebody from another country, they're not going to know what arroz con gandules are or is unless they have been exposed to it. Um, I want to go to a place where they play salsa music, merengue. You need to talk to people that know about the music and about the locations. So this was easier for me to think about it in my head. I didn't know that the turn of the event was going to be so large, in such magnitude, and that we were going to be around for so long. That wasn't in my head. My point was that year. We were going to have a festival in 2007, and I wanted to make it happen. Fortunately enough, it's been successful enough that we are celebrating this year our 14th anniversary.
That's
Imagine.
awesome. um, so we talked about a little bit, but what are you doing now? With COVID-19, and how are you staying connected with your audience, with your supporters and your fans?
Yes. So what's trending right now, when we started talking about telehealth and tele-interviews, so I've been doing the same. I think it's something that's easy. Uh, well, it sounds easy. What I meant by easy is for the followers of our fan pages to connect, click on the live that we did with Oscarito from Grupo Mania a couple of weeks ago. They can just click on it and enjoy the concert from the comfort of their own home or wherever you are. I did the same thing with Yali. Yali, he's a composer, arranger, and singer and musician from Cuba. He's a young guy. He used to sing with Charanga Habanera. And actually, in the last album, a lot of the hits from the album were created by Yali. So we've had Yali a couple of times. He is from, I think, is Holguin, Cuba. So we have done a few in the living room type of concerts with his guitar, and we air it on our fan page, and he's getting a very good response. We're planning to do Oscarito again because when we did Oscarito, and this is one of the logistical nightmares that you get from doing a live for the first time. So when the first one that we did with him, uh, he did it in his studio in his house, but the music, I'm not sure what happened, but it wasn't being transmitted through the microphone in his device to come out so that we can see it, and it was a little bit distorted. And every time that he spoke without music, it was fine, but every time that he was singing with the music, it was a little distorted. So we decided that we are going to do a comeback again with Oscarito, singing his greatest hits with Grupo Mania, and the new albums that are sencillos, the singles that he has done in this recent past few years. So we're going to be doing it in about another couple of weeks, and you're going to be helping us with that one, Juan Adam. I'm not sure if you knew.
Yes, I look forward to it. His energy is incredible. I got to see him live at the festival. I forget exactly what year. It's been a couple of years, but though his energy is just like it lights up all of Houston.
He does, and people, when you hear him singing and when you see him perform, because he's a performer, se desplaza en la tarima de una forma increíble. He's an artist, and we want to bring him to the festival too. He hasn't been here in a while, and the people love to watch him because he's so full of energy, and that is what he transmits to the public. And the public, they just want to be dancing and enjoying and drinking and eating, and that's what we do best.
Nice. That's awesome. So you mentioned this year the dates for the festival. I think you said October 24th. Is that correct?
It's October 24th, and you asked me a question that I started to answer it, and I didn't finish it. It was about La Placita, Houston. So as a result of not being able to do the festival because of so much logistics behind the scenes and very expensive. Um, so we decided to do La Placita Houston, and for most Puerto Ricans, they know what La Placita represents in Puerto Rico, which is in Santurce, in el área de San Juan. It's a place where people congregate. There's over 30 pubs, clubs, and restaurants, and they have live music, a DJ, or karaoke in different areas. And they close the streets, and you can walk to every single one of them, whichever one you want, and enjoy the night from 5 o'clock in the afternoon all the way to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Uh, it started. It was antes era un agrocentro. They used to sell vegetables and fruit 100 years ago, and with time, there's not much that agriculture going on in Puerto Rico, um, and so they turned this area into a plaza for entertainment. So the locals were the ones that used to be there initially, but now it's very known for tourists. So there's a lot of tourists coming in from the hotels area and the tourist area. So it's a lot of fun. So every time I go to Puerto Rico, I have to go to La Placita in Santurce. And I went to Cuba the first time 3 years ago. And in Cuba, there is a Floridita, which is very famous. Hemingway used to go there to drink a special drink, the daiquiri, pero un daiquiri cubano. And it's very famous, and the way that they have the setup with different bands playing every hour was very inspiring to me. Very festive, a lot of fun, great food, and great drinks. Did I say great drinks?
Okay. Yes. As my mouth is watering.
And then they also have La Bodeguita del Medio. La Bodeguita del Medio, it's in Havana, but it's close to Floridita. You can walk to it, but it's a little distance, and it's a lot smaller, and a lot of locals go there, and it is amazing. The same concept. I don't know if they have food, but the music, the ambiance, people coming in. It's right on the street, so you see people in the street dancing to the music. So la Bodeguita del Medio, el Floridita, estos dos lugares en Cuba, en La Habana, y la placita en Santurce, eso fue lo que me inspiró a mí a hacer la placita aquí en Houston. Y ya estamos, ¿cuántas temporadas, Juan? Una, dos, tres. Este año se supone que hubiésemos empezado la cuarta temporada, y no la hemos hecho todavía por razones obvias.
Yeah.
Estamos esperando, ya tenemos el lugar, lo que necesitamos ahora es la autoridad de la ciudad que nos permita hacerlo.
Sí, al máximo. 100%. Yeah, it's I think everybody's kind of eager to get back out there, right? To socialize, to just get back to normal, right? Even today, it's like, we're kind of stuck in the house, and we're just wanting to just be around people, although it's still not, the time for that. But I think that, once these events start opening back up, people are going to want to be out there more and just socialize, right? And have a good time. And it's great to have places like this for people to go to, right?
Absolutely. And that's what people like to do. They like to socialize. They need to see people. And knowing us Latinos, we like to kiss. We're huggers, and we're huggers and kissers.
Yeah.
And we can do that right now. So it's a little nerve-wracking and stressful, but we're coming across. We're on the other side right now of the people. So
yeah, it's weird, right? Because it almost seems rude not to go for the hug, right? And you're having to think in your mind like, oh no, I don't do it, but it's almost like a reflex for a lot of us. So how can people learn more about the festival? How can they keep in touch with you and connect with you?
Absolutely. We have a website. The website is www.prcfestival.com. So that's the website. We also have a Facebook fan page. It's called Festival Puertorriqueño y Cubano slash the straight slash PRC Fest Houston. We also have La Placita Houston on Facebook. We also have Instagram, which was PRC Fest or PRC Festival in Instagram. If you follow us through there, we're posting regularly, almost now on a daily basis. A lot of entertainment, a lot of dancing. ¿Qué más? There are places that are starting to open, and we are supporting all of our local business owners, los restaurantes de comida puertorriqueña, cubana, dominicana. We want to bring them out. We want to highlight them. We want to focus on them because we want our culture to continue to be disseminated within the city of Houston. The people that are not from our islands, we want them to know why we have so much fun, why we are the way that we are, why we do the things that we do when we do them. And the only way that you can experience that is by going to one of our restaurants or going to the Puerto Rican and Cuban Festival.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to mention. How it's also a great way for people to experience new cultures, right? To kind of get a local feel, although you're not in Puerto Rico or Cuba, but to get a more authentic. Because I know, if somebody refers me to a Puerto Rican restaurant and they're not Puerto Rican, it's kind of like, well, or is it the real deal, and what you've done is you've brought a lot of these vendors to one place, right? So I can go and experience experience them in person in one place with great music, entertainment, and then later, now that I got to experience, I can go visit them at their actual locations.
Absolutely. A lot of all of the restaurants that have a place or a food vendor booth at the festival, they are authentic. And of course, you're gonna like some better than others with the same food. And a lot of them also are food vendors that they do festivals for a living. They may not have a venue or a building that you can go in on a daily basis and visit them, but you can follow them on social media. And they, like food trucks, for example, they have a schedule. This week they're going to be here, and at these times. There was one that was a food truck before. They started at the festival with just being a food vendor every year. Then it turned out that they purchased 4 or 5 years later a food truck. So they were a food truck for about another 6 or 8 years. Now they have a location. I don't know what the address is, but if you look them up, the name is Señor Juan, AKS El Mofongo Truck. I'm sure that a lot of people remember El Mofongo Truck. La señora, la cocinera es Petra. Petra es de Corozal. Ellos son todos de Corozal, Puerto Rico. Y la comida de esa señora es increíble. I mean, you can have limbers, you can have alcapurrias, pasteles, lechón, pernil, arroz con gandules, frituras, empanadas, lo que sea. And when you're eating it, you think you're in Puerto Rico. It's just amazing, and that's what all of us are looking for. We want to experience that, even if it's 5 minutes or half an hour, but it's something that is so rewarding, and you feel good, because this is where you came from, So, anyways, les exhorto a todos ustedes que nos están escuchando, por favor, que vayan a Señor Juan. Lo pueden localizar en Facebook o en Google. Señor Juan's, AKAs, or also known as el food truck de Petra. También está Tex Chic, Café Piquet, Flor de Cuba, que es cubano. Punta Cana abre el 21 de este mes, de mayo, que es este jueves que viene ahora. El dueño es dominicano, pero él te hace comida dominicana, puertorriqueña, cubana, increíble. That's one of the best restaurants in town. So the festival, it's basically for that. That's our mission. Our objective is also to highlight our local business owners.
Yeah, it's an incredible opportunity, not only for us to go, but also for that business, right? Where that's one of the things that I think we forget about, that when you're going to a festival like this, you're also supporting your local businesses, your local economy, and just kind of what we're known for, right? Houston is very diverse, and that's what makes us unique and different from a lot of other cities. Is that you can experience a lot of cultures within a small radius, right? Without having to travel.
Absolutely.
Well, all right, Javier, I appreciate you making time to come on today.
Thank you.
Look forward to having you on again once we get a lineup of artists so that we can announce them, so that people can go buy their tickets, so that they can come out to the festival and meet you in person, and for them to connect with you online so that they can get the most recent updates. Anything you want to add, or?
Absolutely. The format of the La Placita Houston, and I forgot to mention, is we bring different food trucks or food vendors. It's like a mini festival, and it's very neat because it gives you relevancy throughout the week, throughout the month that you have this business. So we want to continue doing that for the locals, and also we take advantage to promote the festival and remind people, hey, the festival is coming up. Don't forget to get your ticket. Go to our website, or we usually use a lot of the restaurants in the community to sell the ticket as well and provide information for the festival. That's pretty much it. Thank you, Juan, so much for the time. I appreciate it. I love what you're doing. I've seen you grow. I know that we met a very long time ago at Taco Milagro.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore, but things have happened since Taco Milagro, right?
Yeah, a lot has happened. We're evolving and we're growing, and I like to do stuff like this to feature people that are locally doing things for our community, that are important, right? That bring us together, that unite us, and that support our local economy. So thank you for everything you do. We look forward to having you on again. And we'll end at that. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Please share this broadcast. If you're a local business owner, you can visit HoustonVida.com and sign up for a free listing. From there, we'll be able to know who you are, where you're at, get you more customers, and then potentially bring you on an interview just like this. All right, guys. Thank you, Javier. I'll talk to you later.